Hello, hello. All right, so Aries, this is going to be a story for you guys, but we're going to start out with some story of the constellations of Aries, because it's always steeped in mythology, and I am a storyteller, so I really enjoy these types of things to mix in. So if you don't want to hear about the mythology aspect of this, you can skip ahead in this video. Your cue as to when I'm done talking about the mythology will be when I put this card down. Okay, so I'll hold it here the entire time that I'm talking about the mythology, which will only be just a couple minutes, but let's begin. So first off, Aries it's kind of as you can see, it's kind of a small little constellation, right? But the Egyptians, the Babylonians, and the Greeks all always associated this with a ram. And in fact, its brightest star, which is part of the head of the ram, it's this one right here, this Hamal. In Arabic, that translates to meaning little lamb. And it's just interesting that, across multiple cultures, it was always seen as somehow being associated with, a ram. Also associated with the vernal equinox. However, so the vernal equinox, the sun would pass through the region of Aries at one point in history during the vernal equinox. However, due to precession, it now passes through Pisces, but it will eventually come back around in, I think the year 2400 or something. So we got a ways we got a ways to go before we're going to pass through that again, and it'll be back in Aries. But in any case, once upon a time, that were the case. And so it was associated with springtime as well. Forgive me, I can't remember the date of that. It was I want to say somewhere in the early 400s. So as far as the mythology goes here, again, there's a lot of different stories, and it shows up a lot in mythology, particularly in Greek mythology. So we have a couple different stories, but it's always kind of associated with some kind of heroic deeds. So, Odysseus was basically survived his encounter with the Cyclops thanks to the assistance of a ram. Zeus used a disguise of a ram during the battle between the Olympians and the Titans, and that allowed him to, manage to stay alive, actually, and eventually overcome the Titans. And then there's also the story of Jason and the Argonauts. And so in this story, Jason is tasked with going to get the golden fleece of the ram that is being protected by this fierce dragon. And so he gets his other heroes together, gathers his other heroes together, the Argonauts, and they sail away on his ship, the Argo. And after countless different adventures, they eventually do land in the kingdom where this fearsome dragon lives. And of course, the king who rules this kingdom has a daughter, Medea, who falls in love with him. And because she loves him so much, she helps him come up with a sleeping potion that they're able to give to the dragon. So the dragon falls asleep, and then he can go ahead and steal that golden fleece away. In yet another story, one that's a little convoluted, there's a situation where we've got kind of a villainous stepmother, and a goddess intervenes and says, you will not harm these children. Instead, I will send in this flying golden ram to whisk the children away to safety. So we've got in every storyline, we keep seeing that the ram is always associated with rescue missions, daring deeds, heroics, helping people, protecting people. And so I just think that that's kind of fun, that all of the mythological stories always have a champion. So I think that's an important concept to hold on to as we jump into whatever our storyline is going to be today. So let's go ahead and go there now. All right. How does our story begin now that we're done with the mythology portion? I feel like, I think we're going to start with this deck. All right, let us go. Ooh, the All Gifted in the reverse. And this is actually, to go back down the mythology rabbit hole for just a minute, this is Pandora. So, and in this circumstance, this is when Pandora's box has been opened. And of course, in Greek mythology, when Pandora's box was opened, that's when all the negative stuff in the hearts of mankind was like released onto earth. So, it's, fear, jealousy, all those bad emotions that were housed in Pandora's box, which was actually a jar that Zeus gave to Pandora as a wedding gift. She unwittingly opened it. Zeus had intentionally given her this jar of basically badness, and wanted her to carry it to Earth and eventually open it on Earth as her quote unquote wedding gift, because he was punishing basically Prometheus for having given mankind fire. So it's, all these mythological stories are kind of convoluted, and there's, intrigue and drama. But the big message here is that we have something that could have been wonderful that wound up getting ugly pretty fast. And there may have been intrigue and drama that led up to it. Well, somebody's not interested in this kind of intrigue or drama. To see this Princess of Wands in the reverse, this is like full stop. I'm not interested. I'm not choosing to interact with whomever this is. This could really be, by the way, because Pandora was the first woman ever created according to Greek mythology. Zeus had her commissioned to be made out of clay. We could be talking about a person who was like so loving. This could be a divine feminine. Now, remember, when I say divine feminine, I'm talking about energy, not gender still. Okay. So just bear that in mind. This could still represent a male, but the divine feminine energy that we all have within us. But we could be talking about someone who is so giving, so loving, so incredible, who is like, wow, I can't unsee what I just saw. That ain't my situation anymore. I'm not interested. I'm not attracted to this. I don't want this. So we have kind of something that has come to a full stop. And there's probably a valid reason for it for our character. But let's see. We got a 3 of Cups in the reverse. We got a 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, I'm not hanging out with this person anymore. I'm not talking to this person anymore. We're not having that party after all. I choose not to give any more of my attention. I'm feeling kind of feisty in this because I was just about to cuss in this, which I don't cuss on my channel, even though I do in real life, but I just don't on my channel because, there's better vocabulary out there. Let's be honest, right? And I want to be, friendly to everyone, and I'm totally fine choosing different vocabulary. But I was just about to say something about how someone just does not care to put attention into this anymore. I don't want to give to this anymore. I don't want to give any of my time and energy to it. You can substitute a bad word there if you want to, but don't type it in the comments, okay? We got a 10 of Pentacles in the upright. Whatever this story is about, it is like someone is abandoning a situation that they really think was, I'm looking for the right word right now. It was basically a drain on them, a drain on their resources, and they're shifting all their attention. This is somebody who's like really spending more time with their family, with things, people, interactions of great value, people that I really care about, people that I really want to spend time with. I'm getting this vibe on this collection of cards, like our storyline is about someone who's seriously disappointed in an individual's behavior. And they're like, you don't fit with my family group because my family group is loving, is accepting, is wonderful. And whatever I saw from you was maybe somebody criticized somebody's family members. And it's like, are you kidding me? My family is amazing. Like, they're helpful, they're kind, they're supportive, they're accepting, but you're not accepting of them. It feels like it's kind of one of those things. And it's really unfortunate because this could have been a good thing, but something went sideways. Now, remember this storyline, though, if we look at the energy of the constellation storyline with that mythology, right? There's always Aries being associated with all kind of heroism and good deeds. So I'm kind of wondering if we're not going to have some hero pop in to save the day, because right now we got a messy situation. Here's the Aries. We got the Tower, came out sideways. Behind it, we have the Fool card. And behind that, we have the World. 3 major arcana, all sideways, all stacked together. I'm going to take these together. I'm going to go ahead and say, just for the sake of when my cards come out sideways, I take them sideways. But I also like to interpret, if they had been oriented one way or the other, what would that storyline have been? Well, we have massive change, total like loss of ego, letting go of something just ends on a dime. And it's because it's come to a full stop. Somebody is not moving toward one thing. Instead, they are, this is a major turning point in somebody's life. What I saw, I can't unsee. It makes me know unequivocally I will not be going a certain direction. And instead, I am actually rewarded with a gift of wisdom, because this is Sophia, and she's Greek for wisdom. I am rewarded with a gift of wisdom because now I understand, the lesson in all of this. Now, had this been in the opposite direction, I could have read it in a completely different manner, which would have been, okay, even though something is really difficult, we are not sure. Sorry, that would have been in this position. We're not sure if it's really over or not. Instead, it might be time to like consult with our higher selves, ask for guidance. What should I do? What path should I take? I'm going to be brave because I don't want something to be over. I want to give something a second chance. So we see that somewhere we have a character sitting here in the middle of that energy. Like, okay, is this really over? Is there any hope for reconciliation? Is there any hope for something to turn out differently? But remember, our lead character right now, who to me looks like it is the Aries, now that we have that tower, they said confidently, I don't want this if this is the way it is. I don't want to like deal with this scenario. I think that this is over. But because our character is so, I'm going to say, if they break up with somebody because someone maybe they don't fit into their family group because they don't want to fit into the family group, and this person is like, I'm sorry, but my family's amazing and they totally accepted you. I don't know why you can't accept them. There is this huge sense of warmth and love and support. And it's almost like our lead character is aware, like, God, how lucky am I that I have a foundation around me? Maybe the person I was dealing with doesn't have that, has never had that. Maybe I realize that's an advantage that I have in my own life, is that I am, loved and cherished and I have real support. And that may be giving our lead character a little bit of pause to say, okay, have I don't want to say judged the other character too harshly, but if this is the Aries saying, okay, I thought whoever I was with had annoyed the heck out of me and I didn't think I wanted to see them anymore. And instead I'm, my life is going great over here. I've got a lot of support from my family. But it's in that moment that our Aries goes, but that's the point. I have a lot of support. I have maybe more resources available to me than the person that I'm currently cutting out of my life because they've really disappointed me. But I am a big enough person to say, who would I have been without the support of the people that I love or the people that care about me? Maybe I do have to contemplate it from their perspective, and maybe there's a little bit more to this story. So whoever this is, it could go either way right now. We've got we have someone who's pulled the plug on a relationship, but then is still thinking, is that the right choice? Am I making the right choice for the right reason? Have I contemplated my life versus this other person's life? I gotta say, I really admire the fact that in this case, I'll just keep saying the Aries, because we saw that tower card. The Aries is really, I don't want to say that they're not making any excuses for anybody's behavior, but they are looking at it through more than just their own personal lens. And it's interesting because we have that Three of Swords in the reverse. I like the fact that this Aries is not devastated. They're not brokenhearted. Instead, they're really, they're a realist, is what I would say. Nine of Wands. It's like, look, whatever happens here, I'm going to be okay. The Aries is completely fine, right? Nine of Wands, I can pick up and carry on. I'm not devastated. Okay, what's happening with the person that the Aries walked away from then? Or the situation or whatever that may have been. What's going on with them? Because I'm still trying to figure out, ooh, okay. So they're sitting here in a Two of Cups energy. This is a Two of Cups energy, twin flame soulmate thing, where you notice how one person is in a weaker position than the other, right? Because they're in the bed laying there with kind of like a graying hair. They almost look like she's tending to them because they need to be nurtured back to health. This could be an energy where the character that Aries has walked away from may be in a pretty wounded energy. Now the thing is, they're looking at the Aries like, but you're my soulmate. They may kind of want the Aries to heal them though also, but they're looking at this like, but I love and adore you. This is, yeah, there's no one else like you. This is my bond. This is the other half of what I want. Then how did things go so wrong? Because we start out with the Aries saying, nope, done, not doing this. And I'm still confused as to does the energy of the hero fit in here? Oh boy, we got a King of Wands in the reverse. What happened is, no matter how much this person loves and cherishes the Aries, they may have been very caught up in their ego. Instead of being a really great match, instead of being like, wow, this is this is amazing. By the way, this is the Egyptian god Horus, and Horus was very faithful to his family, right? So in mythology, when his uncle kills his father, his uncle's name is Set, he decides to avenge his father's death. And so he goes to fight his uncle Set off in the desert. And it's a huge battle. And in it, his eyes are plucked out. And Thoth, the god of all wisdom and knowledge, restores his sight and returns his eyes to him. And also bestows on him like each eye carries more power with it now. So I think it's the right eye that carries the I want to say it's the intensity of the sun, and then the left eye carries the healing energy of the moon. So this is someone who should be super dedicated, should be someone who is brave, should be a bit of a hero, but in this case somebody didn't stand beside the Aries. Maybe they weren't very family oriented, maybe they didn't find a way to fit in, maybe they were jealous of how warm and how admired the Aries was, even amongst their peers or their family or their friend group, and so they might have shown up as jealous that Aries had other people that love them, and other people that Aries cares about. Because this can be a lot of ego and jealousy when it's like, but I want all your attention, I want you to keep giving to me because you're my other half, and I want to feel super, super, super special. So it kind of looks like this person caused some difficulties here in this connection, because they were jealous that the Aries had other people that the Aries cares about and that cares about them. Instead of saying, wow, you're amazing, no wonder you have all that abundance around you, no wonder you got a great group of friends, no wonder you've got all this love and attention bestowed upon you, and you're well respected in your peer group and your family group, and I'm proud to be with you. Instead it was like, but you're my other half, and I want to be the focal part of your universe, and I'm jealous that some of your time goes to others, or that other people factor in so heavily into your life and your consideration. I just feel like there was a element of jealousy there for that character. Okay, so what's the advice on this? What is the advice on this situation for, first off, for the Aries? Because this is kind of one of those storylines where the Aries feels like they're done, but then they're rethinking things a little bit. Four of Wands and the Temperance card. Crazy enough, this is like, okay, there can be elements where if we could work out the details, we maybe have a lot in common. So these two characters have a ton in common. Maybe even the streak of arrogance sometimes, because hey, who doesn't have a streak of arrogance? but also the level of passion and interest that these two have for each other, because this person is smitten with the Aries. That's part of what the issue was. They either felt challenged or they didn't feel good enough, so then they overreact, or they're jealous, because it's like, well, I want to know that you really feel the way about me that I feel about you. Look, I'm not saying that's mature or that's right. I'm just saying I can only read the storyline that shows up on the cards, right? But the advice to the Aries is to focus on, can there be peace between these two? Is there true harmony? Do these two really enjoy each other's company enough to say, yes, I would actually want to build a new beginning together, and really acknowledge that we mirror each other so much in so many ways. With this Four of Wands, it's like, in so many ways you are my perfect match, because hey, I have my flaws too. I got issues, you got them too. Could we find a way to balance those things out, balance out? This could be a matter of timing also. Like, how do we make sure that we get to spend enough time together so that neither one of us feels, that surge of jealousy, like, well, I haven't seen you in 3 weeks and now you're going to go to the family reunion or something like that, and it's like, well, you get to come to the family reunion. It's like, yeah, but I just want to spend time with you. It could have been issues like that popped up, and this is a way to possibly look at, can we get to a place of understanding? Can we find a way to really hold on to our bond, strengthen our bond, and have balance, particularly with how much time we both can spend together and the ways in which we spend time? Because our time together should be spent in peace, harmony, collaboration, and romancing each other, not arguing. So I think that's the big question to be posed. Like, do we mostly just argue, or do we actually really have a wonderful time together for the majority of the time? Because if that's the case, we could focus and develop that. Okay, so what's the advice here for our other character? Ooh, what is it? Death in the reverse. Look, if they don't want this to be over, they need to speak up. If they don't want this to be over, they need to be able to express themselves a little bit better. Yes, normally I would say that there's something that needs to be transformed, right? These two have to come to an understanding if they're going to have this work out. But there also has to be some level of, like, if this person was getting all arrogant with that King of Wands in the reverse, the King of Wands in the reverse can say things that are not very kind when they are in a state of, hurt or jealousy, maybe even to the point of being like, whatever, that's fine. Someone might have acted really arrogant. Someone might have acted really unconcerned. Oh, it's over. Oh, you don't want to be with me? That's fine. That could have been one of the breaking points here with that all gifted in the reverse. Because remember, this was a perfect situation. This would have been like the twin flame soulmate energy with that Four of Wands, but then it all kind of fell apart to the point where it was like, wow, I guess this is just over because I don't want to deal with this. And then our Aries starts to say, but it was so good. What were the things that tore this apart? And it's interesting because the message for this King of Wands, the one that was so arrogant, is, if you don't want this to be over, you're going to really have to let go of that toxic behavior, because we got the Devil in the reverse. So we got Scorpio, and we've also got Capricorn here. But we've had a lot of major arcana. We've had Capricorn again in here. We've had Aries show up. We've had Sag show up. What else did we have? Little bit of everything. But I think that that's a fair assessment, that if this is going to work, this character who's been really acting out, maybe even to the point of acting like they didn't care, when in fact, that's what this whole problem has been about. They care so much. They want so much attention. and then they're acting like it doesn't matter at all because really they're jealous, that they need to admit that they don't want things to be over, and then they got to stop acting toxic like that. They got to stop behaving in that way. So is there a potential here? I mean, it looks like there's a huge potential for this to get smoothed out, worked out. But certainly it looks like some big old ego flares have to be, I want to say, fire extinguished. The ego stuff has to be stopped. Got the Emperor in the reverse. This is Aries energy. Basically, the question is on the shoulders of the Aries. Does the Aries want to, I hate to say it this way, but they may be the stronger of the two as far as like the more stable, the more, whether it's masculine or feminine, doesn't matter, but someone who takes the lead, someone who is like the Aries in this connection could be the person who tends to be the most balanced, has the most foresight, is able to look at things from a different perspective. This is like, look, I don't want to have to be the one who's continuously taking the lead. It's almost like this doesn't have a potential to go anywhere unless the character that kind of behaved badly chooses to step up and correct things. Because I don't see the Aries being the one who makes all of that happen. They're not chasing this person. They're not looking to fix it because they're like, I'm not the one who broke this. So if they're going to come in and be an emperor, be a match for me, they've got to show up like that. They've got to show up like the hero. They've got to show up and say, hey, I own this. I made some mistakes, but I don't want you out of my life. If they don't do that, I don't think this is going to happen. So I think that the real meat of this storyline is, we started out by talking about how in every situation, the ram is kind of associated with, daring acts and heroics and things like that. To be an amazing partner and to like be humble, that's heroic too, right? But sometimes people don't realize that that's what it takes to, to be honest and authentic. That takes a lot of strength. And so can this whole thing still work out? It can, but this time in this storyline, it's not the Aries who is supposed to step up and be the hero. It's the other character. It's almost like the Aries is stepping back going, hey, it's me all the time who steps in, gives second chances, sets the things right. This time it's not on me, it's on you. So step up and be the hero. Step up and correct this. Step up and fix this, or it's not going to happen. That's what I get out of this. It's time to step back and let somebody else do the powerful thing. And I got to say, it's kind of because they're the ones who messed it up in this storyline. I know it sounds pretty biased, but remember, these are fictional stories about fictional characters. Please always bear that in mind. Have fun on my channel. If you're listening to this entertainment, awesome. But just remember, I'm not a psychic, so I don't tell you anything about your life. This is all purely fiction. So I hope you guys have fun while you're here. Thank you so much for liking this video. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And I wish you nothing but the best. Bye.